Okay, so the first stage in our differential GPS survey is setting up a base station. So we need to do this before we start collecting any data, because the base file that this will create needs to be longer than the file that we collect with the rover. So any positions that we take with the roving unit, we must also have positions for the same time from the base. The very first thing we do is set up the base. So we've set up the tripod initially. The base needs to be set up over a fixed point. Now when you first arrive and start a survey, you just set the base up over a convenient location and you tell the GPS to locate it. But to ensure that the rest of your survey is consistent, and when you come back over consecutive days, you need to make sure that your base is set up over exactly the same location. So that's what we've done here. We've got a leveled tripod, which we set up over our existing point, which is defined by this mushroom cap that we put in on the first day of our survey. So we've then attached this antenna pole to the top of the tripod, and the next stage is that we need to start to set up the base station, set up the hardware. So we've got a few different components here. We've got the GPS antenna itself. We've got a car battery in this case, so we're going to be powering our base unit from a car battery. This saves using the batteries that come with the base unit itself and is more convenient. It's also very important that we have continuous base data throughout the day, even if we're 2 kilometers away, so we might not be able to come back and check this. So we want to make sure it's got power through the day, which is why we're using a car battery. So we've got a wire here that will connect the car battery to the base receiver, and then we also have a mobile data logging unit, which in this case we just leave with the base unit, but this has the software on it that will actually allow us to collect our base data. So the first thing we're going to do is attach the base antenna. So this is the base antenna unit, and this would allow us in certain other areas of Saudi Arabia or elsewhere in the world to also collect more accurate data using fixed beacons which are positioned around the coast of various countries, including Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, these have a fixed range, and at this location in Tizargada, in the centre of the Nafud, we're actually too far away from any of these beacons to use them. So this antenna would also allow us to collect data from that. So the next stage is attaching the antenna to the base receiver. So all we do is we attach the antenna when we've got the socket here. And then this cable runs to the base receiver to a port which conveniently is marked antenna. So we then need to connect the data logger and the battery, and the battery actually uses the battery cable has a dual end, one of which runs to the data logger and one of which runs to the base receiver. So we have an arrangement here just with crocodile clips attached to the relevant nodes of the battery. And then this cable has at its far end this socket here, which goes into port B on the base receiver. So once that's connected, we can also then connect our data logger. Just screw it into place here. And now, when we start the software and set up the base file, we can check that this data logger will be receiving information from the satellites. So we'll be able to see whether that's the case, and then we can start a base file running, and then we'll go and do our rover survey.